Hey guys, good Tuesday morning to you. This is Rusty 78609 Central Texas, USA on Park Road 4. It is, and I quote, 8:18 a.m. and it's 53 degrees. It's cool and it's a little overcast in Central Texas, USA. I'm on Park Road 4 near Longhorn Cavern State Park, and I know that a lot of you have never been here before, but that's the way that is. So, first thing, housekeeping. Thank you for using the Amazon link, all of you that did. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, here it is. I'm an Amazon affiliate. If you use the link to Amazon products in the description, then I get a small commission and it helps. Thank you very much. That's the end of that. Now, what are we going to talk about this morning on this beautiful, cool, kind of a Thanksgiving holiday day? Let me talk about, I started it when I was doing the comment call this morning, and for those of you that leave comments and wonder why I never respond, is because there's two ways that I respond to comments. One is comment call. I do that every morning. That's my morning video, get the day started. And then the other way is 2 or 3 times during the day I'll go in and check comments and get to the ones I can. It ain't possible to get to all of them, I promise you. I got 1,700 videos out there, and people leave a few comments on each one, and next thing you know, you got a lot of comments. But that's okay, I appreciate them anyway. And so moving right along to what I want to talk about is we're going to talk about Thanksgiving in 1950 in South Texas, okay, or in that range, say 1955, when I was 10 years old. And what was it like in South Texas, Rusty, and when you were 10 years old at Thanksgiving? Well, it was a hell of a festive time, actually. You know, as far as doing anything really special, we didn't. I mean, other than we had a feast, and it was just wonderful. I mean, it was the greatest youthful feeling in the world when, like, the day before Thanksgiving, let's say tomorrow, Wednesday, the house would be full of cooking smells. I mean, my mother would be baking and cooking, and, you know, my aunts would come over and they would do stuff, and I mean, it was just a whole house full of wonderful smells. And of course, back then we didn't have air conditioning or central air and heat. We had 2 little Dearborn heaters, if anybody knows what those are. And but anyway, at this time of the year in South Texas, it was never rarely, or very rarely, cold. It was like it is now. Right now it's about 55, whatever it happens to be, 52. And in South Texas, about the same. It'd get up into the 70s. I can remember wearing t-shirts on Thanksgiving Day and shorts and stuff. Well, never shorts. We never wore shorts. Nope. Always blue jeans. And but anyway, yeah, the house would be filled with smells. Anyway, there was a little tingle of excitement. Of course, you know, you were out of school for the holidays. And of course, you know, my dad was a farmer, and, you know, so he was around the house a lot that time of the year because there wasn't much going on. You know, either the crops were planted or harvested, you know, or we were kind of between both. And so it was a relaxing time. Family was all around. I had 2 sisters and a brother, all older than me. And of course, then we had cousins and so forth that would come, and, you know, it was a hell of an event. I mean, and I mentioned in the comment call video earlier about going and getting firecrackers at Kravitz's Beer Joint, which was about, I don't know, 2 miles from where our house was approximately. And they sold firecrackers during the holiday period, and we'd walk down there, and for, you know, a couple of bucks, you could get enough firecrackers to last a long time. And you know, of course, I mentioned in the early video, you know, they had cherry bombs, M80s, you know, black cats, they had lady fingers, T-bombs, you know, all kinds of firecrackers back then. Nothing was illegal. Nothing. If they could manufacture it and put it on the shelf, and you had the money to buy it, you could get them. In fact, M80s were the most expensive, and they were like practice hand grenades in the military. That's what they were. I mean, they were little. The fuse was in the center. They were like the little T-bombs, but they were big, and they would blow your hand plumb off if you left one in your hand. If you were that stupid. And you could also drop them in water and they'd sink. And you could drop them in the river and they'd just make a big bubble, and then the fish would come up. Yeah, amazing. And cherry bombs were waterproof too, but they didn't sink. You had to pack mud around them or something, leave the fuse sticking out, and then they'd sink, blow up, and you can maybe get a fish or two. But that was when we go down to the river. But the river was a long way away. We had to get somebody to take us over there. But anyway, yeah, it was an exciting time, a lot of fun. You know, it was great memories as far as I can recall. And of course, you know, we lived on a farm out in the middle of nowhere, and we raised chickens and hogs, and you know, we had an old milk cow. And, well, we had a few cattle, not many. And but yeah, we butchered everything ourselves, made our own sausage. We had a smokehouse where we hung meat, and yeah, we smoked pork and beef. And you know, prior to Thanksgiving, of course, you know, Daddy'd butcher hogs, so Mother would have a couple of good hams to cook up. And then my brother and I, the morning of Thanksgiving, or maybe we might have done it the evening before, I'm not sure, but we would go and pick out a couple of good old fat hens, or big ones, and cut their heads off, and then you could steam water and get the feathers wet. It was a messy job, but you could get the feathers off easier that way. And then Mother would, from there you give it to Mother. Mother would clean it and get it ready to bake and so forth. But yeah, you talk about fresh food. Everything we had was, you know, had been living a few hours before we ate it. And as far as the rest of the stuff, potatoes, onions, and so forth, that was all out of our garden. Everything was fresh food. And of course, our aunts, you know, they brought stuff when they came out on Thanksgiving Day. They would bring cakes and stuff they made, you know, potato salad, pea salad. You know, sometimes they'd even bring some fried chicken to throw in with the rest of the food. I mean, it was a feast, man. It was like, you know, you remember the old Roman feast. That's kind of the way this was. The dining room, we had a dining room, like a formal, well, it wasn't really. We didn't have a big home, and it certainly wasn't nice. I mean, it was like 2.5 bedrooms and 1 bath. Had a small living area, and then off that living area was a dining area, and then there was a separate little breakfast nook area, kind of. That's where the children would have their Thanksgiving dinner separately from the adults. And yeah, it was a feast. I just remember you just pigged out, man. Yeah, and then stuff, you know, and then we'd eat that, you know, for two or 3 days. Mother would make all kind of stuff out of leftovers, and it was just a wonderful 4-day or 5-day period. It was really, really enjoyable. And then, of course, that just led right into the Christmas period, which was wonderful. I mean, all of that to me was great, even though, you know, Christmas to me was virtually nothing, a non-event as far as getting gifts or presents. We didn't get much of that, but decorating the tree, we thought that was neat because we made a lot of decoration. You know, we actually popped popcorn and strung it with a needle and strings, and made some popcorn strings to put on the tree. Mother bought a few decorations, but not many. Most of them we made. And so that was but that started within a week or so after Thanksgiving. Mother would get a tree, and it was a real one. You know, back then you'd get a real one. You had to put the little trunk in water and so forth, so the leaves wouldn't, or the pine nettles wouldn't start falling off too soon. And yeah, I think we usually got a pine tree or something. I don't remember any Douglas firs or anything fancy. It was just a pine tree, and sometimes we'd go cut it ourselves. Most of the time, Mother would buy it from the Lions Club place in Kennedy. We had a little town, about 2,000 people. But anyway, that was kind of what Thanksgiving was all about, man. It was a family. It was a huge. Of course, back then, you know, when I grew up, the family all lived within probably 30 miles of each other. Okay, and so when we had an event like Thanksgiving, everybody was able to make it. And you'd have a big crowd there. Well, big crowd, 15 people or so maybe, I'm not sure. It seemed like a big crowd. And but anyway, we're on Highway 281 now, and this is the racetrack. So what else about Thanksgiving? Well, popping firecrackers. I think I told you about, digging a hole in the ground, you put a coffee can in, and then you drop a cherry bomb in, and then put a smaller can on top of that, and you'd shoot it up in the air like a cannon. We'd also take pipes, that had a screw-on back, and you'd put the cherry bomb in there, you'd light it, screw the back on, and you'd hold it like a cannon. You could put something in front of you, put a cans down the pipe. And yeah, it'd fire out just like a cannon. Yeah, you could kill somebody with it. And well, yeah, we did all kind of crazy things. And what else would we do? I don't know. We played games. I'm sure most of y'all remember. Some of you might remember a game called Kick the Can. You put this tin can in a circle, and whoever was it had to keep the other people from kicking the can out of the circle while she spotted them out there hiding. I don't know, if you were ever it, you were it forever. You know what I mean? Because catching everybody, and I had a cousin, we had a barn with a hayloft that was about, probably 12 feet off the ground. We had the ground floor, and then the second level was the hayloft. And the hayloft doors were always pretty much open. And so he would hide up there. His name was Larry. And anyway, my sister knew he was up there, so she was coming up the ladder, and all she had to do was just see him and say, "I see you," and that was the end of that crap, and then beat him back to kick the can, or to the can. And anyway, Larry, he knew he was caught, but what he did, he just ran right out of the upper level of the barn. Now, I don't know if he broke his leg or just sprained his ankle real bad, but I know he couldn't walk. He wasn't going to get caught, man. The kick the can was serious. Well, you didn't want to be it. You just didn't want to get stuck with trying to find everybody. But anyway, we'd hide out in the corn patch and all that stuff. We had a big corn patch. But it was typical living in the country lifestyle. After the meal, people would lay around and take naps everywhere they could find a spot. 2 or 3 of them would just go out and lay on the porch, take a pillow. And we had a front porch covered. And they go out there and lay on the porch. You could hear them snoring for blocks. And then after an hour or so, they'd start waking up, and then they'd start talking. And then sometimes late in the afternoon, we'd make homemade ice cream. We had the crank, and you put the ice down the sides of the thing, put salt on it, and cranked it, and it turned. And we'd make homemade ice cream. Boy, it was delicious too. And we did all kind of stuff like that. Well, you had to make everything because some of the stuff just wasn't available in town anyway. We only had 2 little grocery stores. They probably had, both of them together had 2 products. I mean, there wasn't much. And when we went to the grocery store, Mother would buy like salt, pepper, and that's about it. Maybe, I don't know, we didn't buy much because we had milk from the old milk cow. I mean, it was real milk. Mother made real butter. And we had smoked meats from the smokehouse. Of course, we made our own sausage. Boy, it was good, too. I mean, it was delicioso. Yeah, in a lot of ways, those were the good old days. But things change. See, here's the problem is, when you transition from a life like that into the, quote, real world, so to speak, which is the older world, world of work and so forth, what happens is you fragment, your family disperses. It ends up being all over the United States instead of just in one community. And that happened to us, it happens to everybody. And then all of a sudden Christmas kind of lost its flavor, not necessarily the meaning so much, but its flavor, because you didn't get home for the holidays, or very few did, and all of a sudden it just pretty much disappeared. And of course, then after my mother and father. My father died young, age 57. My mother died at age 86. And, but once they were both gone, that was the end of the, traditional Thanksgiving and Christmas, because now, as far as getting together with my sisters, who are the only 2 left, we hardly ever see each other. My sons, I've got 2 sons and a grandson. My oldest boy, my grandson, and I are going to meet at a restaurant near here for Thanksgiving, and we've been doing that for a few years. Sometimes the grandson shows up, sometimes he doesn't. He's always welcome, but he's got a life. and that's the way that is. But it's just nice to sit and chat, see them growing up, getting older like me, and boy howdy. And speaking of getting older, you gotta be tough. You know, you can't be a wuss, because man, all of a sudden things start to change. Your immune system gets weaker. You start to lose muscle mass, and when you start to lose muscle mass, you're not burning near the calories because you don't have the muscles. And when that happens, you can't eat as much without gaining weight, and that's why some older people gain a lot of weight, is they continue the same eating habits as they lose muscle mass, and their calorie intake should be 1,200 calories a day, and they're still eating 3,000 calories a day. And you know where that 1,800 calorie difference is going, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of us pack it around. I don't anymore. I haven't for years, and I don't plan to go back down that trail. Well, hello, fella. You're running out of highway, ain't you, buddy? Yeah, that little shoulder narrows pretty quick. Anyway, I'll pull in here to Wally Mart. I gotta go do some things. But anyway, guys, from Central Texas, USA, this is Rusty. Oh, gasoline here is $2.18 a gallon. Got a few snowbirds in the parking lot, not as many as yesterday or the day before or whenever. Anyway, let me give you a thumbs up. Thumbs up. Carpe diem. Adios. Bye, bye, bye. USA made when you can. Drink plenty of water. 3 or 4 quarts a day won't hurt you. It's good for you. It'll help you avoid gout, kidney stones, and it'll help you lose weight if that's what you want to do. And what else? Take deep breaths, stretch, walk, keep your health, guys, because you know, you can pig out at Thanksgiving, but just don't pig out every day. Okay? Anyway, adios, amigos. Bye-bye.